Hello, it is late, but I have things on the brain, so here we go. The MCU Phase 5 is starting fairly soon, I think next week, with Ant-Man Quantumania, right? Though I have little interest in seeing that movie, with Kang being brought in, this is supposed to be the multiverse saga, it's making me think about Doctor Strange and what role he's going to play in this multiverse saga. But then I really had to think. And I got upset because I realized how little Doctor Strange has progressed as a character. And it's bizarre watching this play out because there was an interview where Kevin Feige said that Doctor Strange was supposed to be an anchor to the current MCU. He's supposed to be an anchor. Are you sure about that? Are you absolutely positive? Because if you call someone an anchor, they are of utmost importance. They are holding everything together. They're going to carry it home. And so far, we haven't heard diddly do on Doctor Strange since Multiverse of Madness. And if we want to go back to Multiverse of Madness, you would see that Doctor Strange as a character is very stagnant. How he was at the beginning of the movie, he was the same way at the end of the film. He had no arc. He barely has an arc throughout his entire time in the MCU. Why is that? You want to know why? Because he's not a character. Just like MJ, Michelle Jones, Doctor Strange is not a character. He is a vehicle to usher in, either a new concept into the MCU, right? Or to bridge the gap in storylines. Let's start from the beginning. In his premiere film, he was brought in to usher in the new concept of magic within the MCU. And then he was there to bridge the gap in the Infinity Saga by introducing the Time Stone. He was literally there so that when Infinity War came along and they had the Time Stone and everything, it just made sense. He never progressed as a character, okay? We get to Infinity War. Nothing happens there. He's there to serve the plot, period. But there is a monumental decision that is made on his part that changes the course of the MCU forever to this day. Because he gave up the Time Stone and Thanos did the snap. Billions of lives were lost off of his ultimate decision. We'll come back to that. So then we get to Endgame. He's there to serve the plot, whatever. Then we get to No Way Home. Yet again, he is brought in and used as a vehicle to usher in a new concept of the MCU, that being the multiverse. He's going to try and bridge the gap between phases 3 and now 4 by slowly introducing the idea of a multiverse. Then we get to Multiverse of Madness. He's bridging the gap between storylines, between WandaVision and what's happening now with all the multiverse stuff. It's a pattern. And throughout all of this, Doctor Strange as a character, he suffers. We don't ever explore his personal life. We don't explore how these monumental decisions and events that have been happening that he has spearheaded, we have no idea how that really affects him. You guys had the audacity to tell me in Multiverse of Madness that he had a sister and she died. How dare you drop that little nugget? Like I'm supposed to care? I have never up to this point, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they talked about it in the first film, but I have never heard of this man having a sibling in the MCU until that movie. And you used it for an emotional beat and it failed. Because we don't talk about Doctor Strange's personal life. We never explore it and how it may affect him as a hero, if it motivates him, if it demotivates him. We have no idea. We could go to his love life. That was abysmal. That was just, I don't even need to go into Christine. People forgot she was even a character. So we don't need to go into that. But let's talk about narratively. Like what he did in Infinity War. that ultimately changed the course of the MCU. That's pretty monumental. The events of No Way Home, in which Doctor Strange played a major part, that was monumental. But that doesn't seem to affect him. It doesn't seem to faze him, because we get to Multiverse of Madness, and that whole encounter, you losing a teammate, maybe someone you considered a friend, a child, that, nothing. Like, it was a joke. So it's so frustrating. And the fact that we get to Multiverse of Madness, you have a scene in the beginning where he could really sit with himself or with another person and have a conversation about that decision that he made that ultimately led to billions of lives being lost and displaced, right? And you don't take advantage of that. It was like a 2-minute conversation and then we move on. That's the problem with the MCU. They love to gloss over the important shit, what makes a character progress or really sit with their actions. They don't like to do that. They don't like to have characters sit with decisions that they've made or actions that they have taken. They like to gloss over it and move forward. And it happened in abundance with Doctor Strange. I'm sorry, I'm kind of because it's late. But it's frustrating, and I feel bad for people who are Doctor Strange fans, because you're really getting the short end of the stick. Anything that you love about him, the nuances, like none of it is explored. Like the fact that this man is still so cocky, so arrogant, so reckless, and here you have a chance in Multiverse of Madness to really play with that, and you don't. You don't test the waters. You don't show me as an audience member how dangerous of a person Doctor Strange can be. Because he can be, a really dangerous person. And you don't explore it. You don't do anything with it. There's just so many opportunities that are missed. I don't know. It's the same thing I said with Wanda. Where's Wanda? Where's Doctor Strange? There's no way you can go through this next phase and he's not an integral part. I can't see how that makes sense. I can't see how that makes sense. But they'll find a way, because we have not heard anything about this man. And I thought going into phases 4 and 5 and on that he was going to be one of the leading heads, because he is one of the most recognizable heroes at this point in time. And you're not utilizing him. He's on the back burner, honestly fading into the abyss. And I don't know. It's just, he's not a character. He never has been. And I'm not sure why it's taking 3 movies for you guys to really go deeper with him. That's to assume they even have him progress in the 3rd Doctor Strange movie. So, oh God, I'm sorry if this was a little disjointed, but those are my thoughts. I just kind of wanted to put that out there. Let me know what you think or don't. But either way, I will catch you guys probably Friday, because I think I want to go live and do a little movie night. So I will see you guys then. Bye-bye.